Thanks, Mike. This is Doug Davis, and welcome to another segment of Your Black Business, where we feature inspiring stories of Black entrepreneurs and organizations. On today's show, we are catching up with entrepreneur Nayana Ferguson, founder and owner of Anteel Tequila. A few years back, we featured her on the show after she and her husband found success with two of her tequila expressions that was exclusive to the Michigan market. At that time, she produced the world's only coconut lime blanco and Reposado tequila, aged 8 months in second generation Tennessee whiskey barrels. Since then, she's made some tremendous strides in the world of tequila. I follow her on LinkedIn regularly, and she's the first Black woman to ever own a tequila company. It's Black History Month, and she's here to catch us up to date. Welcome back to the show, Nayana Ferguson.
Thank you so much. It's been a couple of years because we had two expressions when we talked to you before. We now have 5.
Right. Catch us up to date with the latest.
So when I talked to you a couple of years ago, we had the world's only coconut lime blanco tequila, which we do still have, and we had our Reposado aged 8 months in charred Tennessee whiskey barrels. But right after that, we came out with a blanco because a lot of our retailers were asking, just for the introductory to our traditional line. So we came out with our blanco tequila. We also came out with the first Tarraco Blood Orange tequila on National Tequila Day in 2021. And then we actually just launched our Añejo expression in December of 2023. So we've been kind of busy.
Yes, you have. What makes your tequila different than other tequilas?
Well, one thing that makes us different is our tequila is made from highland and lowland tequila from the agave plants in highland and lowland. So that's a great balance for the flavor of our tequila and the profile. But because we do have the world's only coconut lime blanco tequila, that is something that we are so proud to have. And we are still the only one that has the world's only coconut lime blanco tequila. And our Tarraco Blood Orange is also expression that is very unique in the market. So we try to continue to, be trendsetters in the market of tequila. And because we don't add any added sugars or sweeteners to our tequilas, because I am a 18-year pancreatic cancer survivor now, so I'm pre-diabetic.
Amen.
So I need to make sure I can imbibe in my own cocktail.
Yeah, like exactly. So obviously you continue to find success. How do you get the word out about your products, and who's your customer base? I mean, marketing and promotions obviously is the way to go, but I mean, how do people hear about it outside of, interviews like this?
A lot of people hear about our expressions or Anteel Tequila from word of mouth and from social media. We do have a great following of consumers and friends who tell everyone about our tequila because they love when they try our tequila either at an event or, at a tasting at a store or at a restaurant, and they tend to tell other people. But a lot of people follow us on social media, and we're very active on all our social media platforms. So a lot of people, get to know us that way as well.
That's amazing. I also want to ask you about some of your latest business moves or strategies that you've implemented, because, again, you've got all these new flavors out. So you're obviously finding success. Share some of your secrets.
Well, like I said, we want to make sure that we keep on the trend of getting newer things into the market to get people to notice us. We call our coconut lime, the gateway to our tequilas because a lot of people, they have some stereotypical thoughts about tequila. And so when they do try one of our infused expressions, it's like, okay, they're like, oh, this is great, and then they want to try the other expressions. So we do a lot of that. So we do a lot of events, we do a lot of marketing, and just talking to people about our tequila. I get a lot of media coverage as well, being the first Black woman to have ownership and lead a tequila brand, but also because we do have so many awards for our tequilas now. I think a couple of years ago when we talked, we had only had about maybe 5 or 10 awards. We now have 115 awards and accolades to our tequila. So we are one of the most awarded emerging newer tequila brands on the market. So we are so proud of that. And that is one of the things that we information we give to people as well about our awards as well, because then people are like, oh my God, you have all of these awards. It has to be good.
And let's talk about distribution. Are you on a global level? I think when we first talked, you were just in a few markets.
Right. We were just in Michigan at that time. And then right before COVID happened, we were planning to expand to California and Florida at that time.
Right.
And of course, everything had to pivot because of COVID. So we had to pivot to more social media marketing and things like that. And we're actually in 15 markets right now. So we have expanded tremendously since that time. We do focus on about 5 or 6 markets that we do have teams in that go out. They do events and they do tastings for our tequila to make sure that we have visibility in that market and to get newer consumers to try our brand.
As a Black entrepreneur, we know that there are some unique challenges that you
Absolutely
face in the spirit industry. How have you overcome them? I know one of the big issue is financing and getting capital investments and making some folks believe in the dream. Obviously, things are going well because it appears that you're well funded.
Well, we always have challenges. Being a smaller brand, we're not the big brands with the millions and millions of dollars, but being a smaller brand, and then we are connected with a lot of other Black-owned spirit brands, we all have the same challenges. We have capital challenges. We have distribution challenges. Something that happened to us last year is we actually got a significant investment in our company, so that allowed us to continue to grow, and we were up in sales over 30% last year, and we're looking for more this year. So yeah, we've been able to, get some investment companies interested in us. And that, of course, though, is always a challenge. If you're trying to grow a brand, you always constantly need funding for that. And that's something that we're continuing to look to do.
I always hear complaints from VCs that we don't know how to pitch products to investors. Did you get advice? Did you enter an accelerator program? How did you come up with your pitch to entice these investors to say, hey, I'm ready to give you the green light?
Well, we were fortunate to be noticed by a company that is investing in Black-owned brands. And so we actually created our own pitch first. And then they allowed us to do a couple of practice pitches. And so they gave us feedback on what we needed to do, other type of information that we needed. We talked to a couple other brands that we knew that had some pitches and got some advice from them as well. So we didn't go into like an incubator or a program like that, but we, with our sample pitches, we were able to hone our messaging and hone, all the information that we needed. And when we did our final pitch for the investment that we got last year, it was different just because it was by Zoom. It wasn't in person, but it was a 10-member team. And so that is, kind of nerve-wracking to do it by Zoom, but it's something, obviously, we did very well because we got the investment, but we didn't go into that program, but we learned so much, from asking other brands and also just kind of looking and seeing what type of information that we needed.
Awesome. Could you share any nuggets, any tidbits with our listeners right now who may need some help with, how to pitch their product to an investor?
I mean, definitely one of the main things is you always have to know your story. Your story is what sells your brand to investors, but also knowing your numbers. And that is very important because they want to see that you have a viable company to invest in. So they want to make sure that you are selling and your company is poised to continue selling and continuing to grow. So those are two major factors of a pitch deck is basically your brand story and the numbers that you have. And that can be sales, that can be your cost or COGS, and then your projections on what you see and what your goals are on getting your brand to grow.
How can people learn more about your spirits? How can people go on the website if they can't buy it at their local liquor store? Where can we find you on social media as well?
On social media, we're under Anteel Tequila, so that's ANTEEL Tequila. Our website is anteeltequila.com. All our social media platforms have all of our information, but also on our website, if you go and we're in your state, you can put in your zip code to find a store near you that has our product.
All right. Nayana Ferguson, thank you so much for sharing your story again with the Black Information Network. And let's bring it back again. We want to hear the progress.
I can't wait for that.
Thank you so much. This is Doug Davis. You're listening to the Black Information Network and Your Black Business.